Earlier this week, I spoke to the Minister of Small Business Development for South Africa, Lindiwe Zulu, and we began by asking her about the role that government has to play in the much talked about topic regarding the creation of black industrialists. Let's take a look.
Well, government identified the need for the development of black industrialists in particular. And this, of course, is based on the fact that government realized that without the radical economic transformation, this country, in as far as its economic development is concerned, would lose a lot. And therefore, the focus on building black industrialists is a responsibility of government. In fact, government declared that we need to have 100 black industrialists. And my view is that it's possible to develop and assist even more than that 100.
Minister, you've been engaging with some of your colleagues on an international scale. Are there particular lessons that an economy like South Africa can learn from their peers on a global platform to boost industrialization in the country?
Absolutely. If the economy can be opened so that at the end of the day, those that were left out of the economy can find themselves within the economic activity of the country, let's start there. Hence, government decided on the economic development, the focus on economic development. Secondly, we've got within the departments of government themselves, there are many opportunities that present themselves in the value chain of what government is looking for, which can be produced by our own industrialists, but also there's an opportunity for small and medium enterprises and cooperatives to give either services or products that they are producing to the value chain of government. But we're not only looking at government, we're also looking at what the private sector can do to assist us in this space, because at the end of the day, the radical economic transformation that we are talking about cannot be a responsibility of government alone. It has to be a responsibility of everyone in South Africa. But to focus particularly on entrepreneurship, our department in particular of small and medium enterprises is going to be having very focused programs that will be assisting entrepreneurship development. So we are going to be opening up the space to make sure that we train as much as we possibly can. But of course, we can't train everybody being in the department, but we're looking at institutions. That's why, for instance, we have discussions with the Minister of Higher Education to look at what is it that they can do to encourage people at high school to make sure that they also focus on what will happen when they finish school. They can't be looking only at going out and looking for jobs.
Minister, the government has come under a lot of criticism when it comes to this cultivation of entrepreneurship because there are just too many organizations to go through. There's the NYDA, there's CEDA, there's all these multiple factions where one can go to get some kind of cultivation from an entrepreneur's perspective. How do you respond to this? And will we ever see a time, as we heard in the panel earlier on today, where there is a one-stop shop for all of the entrepreneurs' needs?
20 years of experience in our government is telling us that there is some things that we need to rationalize, but the rationalization must not be on the expense of giving support to our people on the ground. For the Department of Small and Enterprises, for instance, CEDA and CFA is now falls under our department. So it means that we will focus on ensuring that both these institutions that I'm talking about will have to align to the programs of government, because they are government funded. They have to align themselves to that. But more than anything else, we will be looking at these institutions to ensure that they service the people. For instance, if you look at CEDA, some of the offices are very far away from where people can access. We'll be looking at what is it that we can do to make sure that those institutions come closer to the people. Our focus here is township development, but also rural areas. What we are happy about is that there is an understanding that the three spheres of government have to work with us so that we make sure that we align and we also use the resources which are not as much, use the resources that we have maximally. What we do not have at a national level, you will find that there's plenty of it at a provincial level, but also at a local level. So coordination for government comes as a priority. Also, as a Department of Small and Medium Enterprises, we're going to be signing transversal agreements with different government departments. And those agreements are what should contain what is possible for small and medium enterprises.